There are two distinct, there may be more, but there are two distinct realities now happening, and it will become more and more clear as time goes on.
Our bodies begin to resonate in a frequency standpoint where everything starts to move together. And as it moves together, the body starts to remember things that it had forgotten.
And then you have the one within you, in your flesh, in your blood, in your bones, that is the mother. And she has something to say. She has something to contribute to all of this. And she wants to do this in you, in each and every fragment.
Within. This is what we mean when we say going within.
It's what we mean. It's what we mean. It isn't a mental concept. I and many others I know have recently or are in the middle of a huge shift. And what came through for, all the data that was coming through for that event, that was the precursor to what we are in now and leading up to the summer solstice. Just that this is a very, very critical time right now. And you all may be experiencing this in a variety of ways. I myself have been sick. This is day 10. And also huge bioenergetic event and releasing and understanding more, right? So all of it is, I'm in my own process, and I recognize that there are other members here, and of course, people across the globe who are also experiencing this, that we may not know about, we may be completely unaware of, because we don't speak to them directly. Later, I will be getting into more of what we can expect based on the data that is pouring in. I have been filling up and overflowing with information. It is my clear understanding now that there are those of us who are the front runners for these shifts and changes, who have moved through the changes and have adapted and have remembered how to receive data, have healed, so much healing, and the healing continues. It isn't just, boom, I'm done, and here we go. It's always in process. So I just want to acknowledge all of you here and honor all of you for your courage to first of all, just be on the planet right now, and to, even if you don't understand what's happening with your minds, you are a part of something magnificent, something that can't be described in words, but it is a sacred honor and privilege to be here on the planet right now, to move with these changes in a conscious way. One of the biggest shifts is we're not going to be talking so much and explaining so much to the mental construct anymore. So those who are here, those who may join Light Dialogic in the coming times, will be the ones who have the capacity to build resonance. The intent is to bring people together who can see or feel or perceive, at the very least, something that calls them here to participate and to assist and to help each other remember and to practice being who we are in actuality, not the identities that we were building to survive in that other world. There are two distinct, there may be more, but there are two distinct realities now happening, and it will become more and more clear as time goes on. Again, I just want to acknowledge all of you. I very much respect all of you, and I'm fascinated by your journeys and what you're interested in and what you're excited about. And, you know, not every one of us are going to have the same inspirations and excitements and passions, and that's the beauty of it. But we get to share in that with everyone here. This is not like anything else. Maybe there are other things like this out there, but all I know is that this is the guidance that I have been receiving my whole life to keep moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. And now we're here. Even the ones who came here to do this have not been given the linear information. Okay, now this is going to happen. Now that's going to happen. And do this, do that. That's not the way it works. You trust, you feel, you're pulled forward. You release, you open, you adjust, you integrate, and you're pulled forward. And those that are in your midst, they're either going to reject you and say, man, she is a Looney Tunes. Trust me, I've gotten that a lot in my life. But I trust the light that guides me and pulls me forward, not the fear around me. Okay? This is how we help each other build and become stronger and more resilient. That's what I wanted to say to you at the start. And I want to invite Eduardo to join us now. Welcome, Eduardo. He's currently in Austin, Texas.
That's correct. I am presently in Austin, Texas, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning to drive back to Santa Fe, and in preparation for the solstice ceremony in Chaco Canyon on Tuesday and Wednesday. I want to also congratulate all of you for being here. We're not normal. I remember when I wanted to be normal. All my life, I most wanted to be normal, whatever that meant. And now I'm comfortable being abnormal. And in this comfort of being abnormal, it started years ago when I was guided to start learning the Mayan Chol Kich, which is the Ki'iche teachings of the sacred human calendar. And I came back from the first month of work there after doing 21 days of limpias. A limpia is a cleansing using eggs, water, and candles. And it's called walking the Camino de Agua, and the road of water. And it's the first step on my path to me connecting to a cosmic identity that I had no idea I had within me. This cosmic identity is something that each of you will understand more about as you begin to resonate with the sound and the light that we are presently receiving. And so as we're doing a ceremony, we're calling out the tones as well as the day signs. And as we do, our bodies begin to resonate in a frequency standpoint where everything starts to move together. And as it moves together, the body starts to remember things that it had forgotten. We're in the remembering phase of us having a cosmic identity. The next thing that I was initiated into understanding was the counting system that the Olmec people had created approximately 13,000 years ago, according to my teachers. And these are the names and the way that each of the sounds will be pronounced, but it is so that you can now see, as we call out these sounds, you can see the energy of the dots and the bars for each of the 13 oshlahu, 13 sacred tones. As we breathe, and I call out the name of each of the breath that we're getting ready to take, the sound that I make with my voice will resonate with the internal part of you in your chest area around your heart. When I say Hun, you will feel the vibration, but you're not yet aware or haven't been aware how that vibration affects you. Now, in this time of the emergence of us coming into this place of the new creation, we will be very aware of the resonance and the frequency of the sounds. Today, M put up a portion of a message that she had, that I've listened to many, many times. And it's called Turning. And it refers directly to the importance of these sounds that help us as we go into this time we will refer to as the shift. And what is the shift? It is in that you will read, if you haven't already read it, you will read that the shift is when the human consciousness is no longer fragmented. It begins to become unified in its awareness that it is that more and more is going on. So let's do the breathing. Today is Kablachuch, Tsi, in the Tresena of Kawak. Kablachuch, or 12, is a representation of our community, the 12 disciples that followed the master around. Tsi means the law, authority, justice, the spiritual law, that which cannot be bought or sold, the rock of the sun, obsidian of fire, fidelity, order, spiritual exactness, and emotional life. The animal spirit, or nawal, of Tsi is the wolf, or the dog. It is the element of air, and our body region of Tsi is the nose, using the nostrils to smell and to sense things in the air that we are now starting to understand more about how important it is for us to use our nose to smell things. A lot of information passes through that technology that we have in our body. The Tresena, or the 13-day period that we refer to as the Tresena in Spanish, it is Kawak. And Kawak is the same thing as Kablachuch. It represents our community. It represents the group of people that we choose to be with, learn from, teach, and associate with, and to help lift each other up when we need help, and to carry the water and chop wood that it takes for us to have a community that is functioning correctly. These are important for us to start using as we go through the breathing process, because it's now we're going into the phase of us using our internal technology, the eyes, the heart, the sound, everything that we have going on within us, so that we can start maintaining this resonance and balance, to keep our balance as we move into this time that we're in. We're actually in it. It's happening. We can feel it. So there's no question that we're going to be tested with certain things that are going on around us, with noises in the distance. Sound is going to be a more important part or aspect of our understanding of how we humans are vibrating and resonating with the earth. Jerry asked me a couple of days ago a question. He said, if I remember correctly, something about the compassion, self-compassion, and how important that is. And then he also asked about, can you explain the divine feminine? And I would like to answer the first part of that question in this group. Compassion, self-compassion, and self-love. We are now remembering that our DNA is becoming more and more activated by the light that we're receiving from our local sun, Hunakpu, from the photon belt, from Hunhunakpu, the mother sun, the central sun, and even from the central sun of our super universe. All of this light is now reaching us. So we are more capable of understanding what love truly is, and especially the importance of choosing to love ourselves. Through this self-love, another doorway opens up within the heart that we've had closed down, because we've not been taught how to love ourselves. We haven't been instructed on how important it really is. In fact, most of us walk around our entire lives not really liking who we are. It's because we've been conditioned that way. So the essence of this is to remember that nothing. So this is the answer to that first question that Jerry posed, is learning the essence of self-compassion, the love ourselves, to appreciate who we are. And then to not come from ego, but to come from the reality that we are what we are. I am that I am. And that we are these amazing beings that were created by First Father and First Mother. Now, I know a woman who can answer this question better than anyone I've ever talked to. I would like for Em to get into this whole concept of what is the divine feminine? Who is the mother? And how do we all learn to accept this amazing being as part of us, so that we can be all that we are?
Thank you, Eduardo. That was a beautiful sharing. I so love and appreciate you, and I'm so honored to have been walking this path with you in this lifetime. Just wanted to say that. Thank you. I am going to respond to that question, but I want to respond when it's the right timing. This is an excerpt from a transmission that came through November 24th, 2013. I'm finding that more and more these messages are just they're like coming back around and delivering even more pertinent data to what's happening now.
There is no question that this is the timing on Earth to remember, to wake up, even though it is understood that you have heard these words many, 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 many times over the past few decades leading up to this point in time. Understand that there is another level that we are speaking with you in, and it is frequency. Let go of the words and feel this frequency that comes through the voice now. It is more exciting than you can imagine. It is more love than you can imagine, that you can imagine at this time. Open the windows, open the doors to these frequencies and embrace something unimaginable at this point. Let the frequency fill you in.
That's the divine feminine. It fills you in. It cannot be explained with concepts, with mental explanations. It's a felt, direct experience of love. And I found the divine feminine. Those are just words, remember. I found the mother, the divine feminine, the sacred feminine within my core. Because I was on a trajectory of healing for many years. And I know there are others, many others, that have been on the same trajectory. We came here to wake up here and to remember, to first of all remember how difficult it is to be conditioned within this world. And then to snap out of it, to break the spell, and hopefully help each other break that spell. And as Eduardo was saying earlier, to remember fully who we are. And this is what the shift is when we can access and awaken the mother, which is a huge chunk of who we are, that has been conditioned out in this small bandwidth. We don't need to keep rehashing all of this. It's done. If you're here now, it's because you chose to be here now. You chose to join all of the souls that came here to help humanity. A lot of people are saying evolve, but what this intelligence has always informed me of is that what all of these greater and multidimensional selves of who we are, what they're trying to penetrate through into this reality through human beings, through human portals, is they're trying to say, we're just trying to get you back to your true self. what you have been in and how you have been behaving and agreeing and adapting and contracting to smallness, that is not who you are. That is what you adapted to. And you built these personas and these identities that fit into this construct. So the awakening is about this one-on-one with your source, one-on-one with the mother, first father, first mother, one-on-one. Build the dialogue, build the conversation, connect with this, not with what anyone else says is the way. You find your way. And this is why I can't teach this to you. I can only model it for you, and others here can only model it for you and encourage you to find this direct connection within you, because you will absolutely need to have this inner calm established to be able to trust, to feel the mother, to feel that divine feminine being activated once again within your awareness and helping you know where to go, what to say, who to interact with. The synchronicities will occur more and more and more. Once you make that commitment, there's still a chance to go back to the world as it was. And again, that's not judged, but these worlds are separating now. So if you're finding that you have come to these points where it's like, I cannot go any further, crisis, you're backed into the corner, you must make a decision. That's what's happening. Is the worlds are pulling apart. And when I talk like this, it's because I'm shown in visions and in downloads and dreams that I've got my intercom working. And this is what I've been encouraging and what they have been encouraging you through me to set up this intercom. And it's absolutely crucial that you do so. Otherwise, you're choosing to stay with what you have decided is real. And it's the mother, the essence, the ether, the resonance, that which is invisible to the world that you lived in before. And we can't make the mother do anything. It's us that has to clear the way to her, to remove all of the stuff, whether it's from this life, or then you start getting into multi-generational, and you start getting into the really long-term cycles of pain and trauma that we have all been carrying. And you can make a difference with the collective by doing this archaeological dig within to begin to touch into the mother. You'll start to have experiences, direct experiences, vibrational experiences. You'll feel love. You'll feel emotion come over you. You'll feel swept into this bliss that says, yes, this is the new marker. This is who you are. The moving forward, it's all consciousness. It's all perception. And it's all a willingness to heal and create the openings. As I showed you in the practice of the dialogue with the cello, that's all it is. Is your instrument open? Is it tuned? Do you keep it tuned? Do you take care of your instrument? because this is the instrument that's going to inform you. It works really well when Eduardo and I talk. We have our conversations, and whenever he asks me a question, it just comes and it just flows. And I need to have this regularly occur because it's it's starting to feel like there's an intensity here with me that I need to share it. This is why I'm here. This is why others are here. They need to be able to share this with the people who can receive it, who have enough of the eyes open and the ears open to perceive that, oh, this is what I need. This is the resonance. This is what I feel that, right? It's not going to have value to people who are still constrained to just a tiny portion of their brain that they're utilizing and is projecting reality. Everything. You're seeing the scientists, hearing the scientists now acknowledge this. It's not based on physicality and the materialistic world. It's life is based on consciousness. That is the fundamental of reality. And so you're in charge of this.
And so I say to you, how does one go beyond the fear of going direct to their creator? How do we go beyond that and open up the dialogue with our higher consciousness, if you will, and trust that the answers that we get are going to be true? And part of what you said to me was, when we start to tell our truth, and we're yelling and screaming and crying and whatever we have to do in order to tell our truth, when we're going through this phase, something occurs in the sound of the voice, of our own voice, starts to resonate with an internal aspect of who we really are. Our internal technology starts to come into play. And it starts to resonate, starts to vibrate, and it creates an opening, a portal. And I just want you to see if you can expound on that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Eduardo. It's well explained. It is truth-telling. It is, I've referred to it as sacred truth-telling. I've translated it as that. It is when we speak the truth and we give it sound, or we simply emit sound from our bodies. If we don't have the words, we can just make sound that matches how we feel. Okay, and then you can introduce words later. But what this does is it's an external, you're speaking the truth or sounding the truth out through your fifth chakra, through your manifesting chakra. And then there's the sound in the external, and there's also the sound within you. That is, this is what the attunement is, from your internal to your external. And well, that's more of the process. But what you asked me was, how do you begin? Because you're all under a spell. We're all under a spell. And if you have trouble with this whole dialogue thing, it's like, you might initially say, that's ridiculous. I don't even know how that works. There's nothing here for me to grab onto. There's nothing for me to generate a new persona, like, oh, I'm doing this spiritual practice now, and so I've got this new identity. That's not what we're doing here. This is a tool that was given to and through me. Not that I wasn't doing some form of the dialogue my whole life. Most people call it prayer, but even prayer, there's a difference between the prayer that we're taught and the dialogue. It has to do with speaking honestly what you're feeling. This is the only way that you're going to be able to rediscover your true light and power. It will continue to heal you, and you will transcend the fear. You will strengthen as a result. These as I was saying earlier, these pathways open, and you begin to receive data in other ways beyond language. I can't stress this enough. It's not going to come through language. You might see it externally, or you might feel it resonate with something that already exists in the external reality. But the truth is here. There are stages of this, but these stages are going to go very quickly now. We don't have the slow, methodical decades of time for some of us to move through these stages. These are going to happen very rapidly for others now. And that's okay. It might be pretty intense, but you can do this, especially since you have others around you that can support you and encourage you. You know, you acknowledge the truth of who you are, and then have the courage to be that. No identities, no personas, you're shedding those. So essentially what's happening to me in Emerge and with other people here that I'm aware of in Light Dialogic is we are landing here in our bodies, the wholeness of who we are, and we're practicing it. And the hardest, most challenging thing to do, I have found over the years, is to be who I am, hearing the voices and the whispers and the criticisms, and yet still holding that connection.
The sound of your own voice,
yeah,
resonating within your heart and resonating within your body, creates a frequency of sound and motion, much like if you poured sand or white sugar on a speaker underneath a plastic glass, let's say, and you turn your sound on, everything's going to vibrate, and it's going to turn into a very amazing diagram of collection of these crystals, all agreeing they want to be in these particular places because of the frequency of the sound. That's what's happening within our bodies when we tell our truth and we hear the truth.
Okay.
When we hear the truth, that's when everything starts to shift.
Exactly. But now I feel that there are some that don't really get what we're saying about the truth. I'm not talking about the sky is blue, the grass is green. Those are truths. No, I'm talking about what are you feeling right now? Okay, when the presence came in and asked me the question, just kind of filled the room. And this is when I was in Hawaii mentoring with a teacher. And it said, what are you feeling now? And I wrote about it in my book, but very briefly, it was like, in that magnetic hold. And I said, good. But as it kept asking, it kept asking. And it was like, I realized, it doesn't, when I said good, that's not truth. That's not truth. It wanted to take me further and further and further into my belly. What's really going on here? Can you even say it out loud? See, that's the other part, is we're so conditioned. No, that doesn't exist because I've got this persona that I have to have upkeep. I have to keep it maintained and presentable in the world because that's how I survive and that's how I get love. And that's what needs to be completely unpacked. And you will get rewards along the way if you're being truthful and you continue to go to those scary places where I can't say that out loud because that would make me sound bad. That would, I would, if other people knew this, oh my God, I'd be banished. And that's one of the greatest fears we have, is to be banished for not fitting in. But always ask yourself, can I go deeper? Can I go deeper? Can I go deeper? Because you will create the movement and you will bring this out. You will bring this truth out and you'll get to hear it and feel it and you'll feel the resonance. And you'll go, oh, this is what they meant by this. Now you're starting.
And you're going to get scared too. There's a fear factor that comes in when that starts to happen.
Yeah, because it's bioenergetics and it's like everything's been up in the head. Like, let's just talk about it up here because this is where everyone is so logical and sensible. Well, the mother has something to say too. Yeah. So we've been focused on the Heavenly Father all these years. And other people's interpretations of the Heavenly Father. Wait, which version are you getting of this Heavenly Father? And then you have the one within you, in your flesh, in your blood, in your bones, that is the mother. And she has something to say. She has something to contribute to all of this. And she wants to do this in you, in each and every fragment.
Within. This is what we mean when we say going within.
It's what we mean. It's what we mean. It isn't a mental concept. It's you actually have to sit down and do this. Yeah. Now, what you were saying before, I just want to, as another thought on this, is if you don't do this and you continue to just ignore it, everything's going to be fine. Everything will work out. Well, I want you to look out into the world right now and tell me that you think this is going to get better if you just rely on the world out there. It's not going to get better out there. It's going to get better within you and shift your perspective and your perception so that now you can see the truth instead of the bullshit that matches with those lower frequencies. It's you that has to take responsibility for this and rise into higher frequency viewpoints and experiences and relationships and, perfect locations to live. Persons, places, and things will start to manifest in this new higher frequency. If one more thing that I have been discovering lately is you cannot co-create with somebody who's living on the previous ground. In order to create now, we have to come together with the ones who are emerging.
The word emerge is so important in this time that we're in. It literally means to take yourself, your sacred divine being, out of this confusion, to pull yourself out of the muck of the teachings that have been programmed into us through the media and through other things over and over and over, thousands of times, to keep us from remembering, in fact, that we are divine beings. And how we do this is through our own confidence that we are not alone.
That's right.
That we are more than we think we are. We are so much more than we think we are. Yeah. And that this kingdom of heaven, wording kingdom probably not a good word, heaven probably not a good word. I would say that words like this existence of truth is there within you. And this truth is what sets you free so that you can be
That's right.
all that you are.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's so simple. We're the ones who have been complicating it because it doesn't fit into the logical, conceptual, where everybody respects the masculine left brain intelligence. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about our masculinity and our femininity, our hemispheres of the brain. Yeah, and so if you're not using the dialogue, I guarantee you will get to a place where you will cry out, "What's happening? Ah!" And there's your truth. You see, you can get a jump start on it, and you can start articulating what you're feeling, or you can wait until that moment when it's like, "Ah, there's nothing else I can do."
Yeah.
You have no other choices. You just scream and shout from the pain of this disconnect, of this relying on a false external grid that is not representative of who you are. And if you continue to deny yourself and not begin to claim your place in this new reality, and join others like we're doing here to mirror this to you so that you don't go crazy. See, some of us here in this very room never had that. We didn't have the reflection and the mirroring. We had to totally rely on this love within us that was guiding us forward. And then that's not to say, well, look at us and pat ourselves on the back. It's no, that we're all connected. We're all doing our part to help awaken humanity and help them re-embody the rest of themselves, not float away, but to re-embody who we actually are and start speaking this. This is your power. The sound of truth is your power.
The coherence that is created by an open heart that's telling the truth,
yes,
creates an energy force
yep,
that connects us to the unified field that connects all to all. Which much is like the mushroom world connects all the things on planet Earth that are growing to everything, right?
Yes, exactly.
That is what happens when the human heart is open and tells the truth. And this is the resonance. This is what sound does. I'm very proud of both of us for getting through this, because this is not easy stuff to talk about. And in the English language, especially, because sometimes there's no way of describing what we want to say using English. And so now I guess we can ask if we want to open up the floor for some other questions.
Sure.
I'm
I think
very
Laurie's
happy that we did that.
Yeah, thank you. Laurie had a question, or she wants to say something. So no more codependency with the old world. So it's not like codependency with people so much as codependency with an old reality that no longer serves us. That's something we adapted to. So everything happens from within us, and the new perspective and everything that I was sharing before. We're not going to be able to keep doing this dance of staying small or figuring out how to be here. That's ending. It's either going to be the new world that you're going to somehow trust and be pulled into and say, this is the world I want. I want truth. I want the truth. I want to fully be who I am. Or it's some form of adaptation to the way we thought it was supposed to be, right? Whatever context that is in. I appreciate you bringing that up, because it's been brought up before. It isn't so much about, first of all, to just acknowledge and honor your process and what works for you, you know, as long as we're moving and engaging, right? That's the most important part.
Yeah.
It's not so much, did you do it that way or this way? You know, it's what's going, you know, the curiosity, the inquisitiveness, the inquiry within. So when I say, you know, when I was answering the question, when it first, because I always have to go back to that initial contact and the delivery of this process. It was just noticing that when you say something out loud, like, oh, okay, well, I said I was feeling good before, but okay, what I feel, you know, I'm feeling a little frustrated. Wait, no, your body will say, not quite frustrated. Something else? Oh, you know, and so you just keep diving in, and then you test the words. Yeah. And then your body will give you that feedback. The more you do it, that's really all I wanted to add to that. But that said, I respect your process and your investigation into yourself. And these are all things that each individual can discover for themselves. It's like we can hear other people and go, oh, that's interesting. And just as markers, you know, but it's always going to be discovered in our own way and within our own process and our own continued engagement, right? It's going to unravel. If you're engaged and you're practicing it and inquiring, it's going to unravel and it's going to teach you this inner navigator. Yeah, I should go within, or yeah, I should do that. So there's a lot of this, word soup that happens where it's like, yeah, I'm going to do that, or I'll get better, you know, or in the case of what we're talking about, it's yes, you know, all these spiritual circles, they're saying, yes, we just need to go within. Or in politics, we just need to do this. And then you notice how that's the end of it. This is what we need to do. And it's so then there's a disconnect between our inner power and authority, that connection with our larger, you know, in like, for instance, Alcoholics Anonymous or the 12-step programs, it's, you know, you're surrendering to a higher power. In this case, we're surrendering to, we're saying, you know, I really don't know anything. I've been addicted to this way of life for this long. I realize there's a problem. I mean, it's all the signs are all around me that there's a problem here. But, oh, it'll get better. It'll just get better, right? That's a sign of somebody who's under hypnosis, under a spell, or, you know, which is what addiction is it's a spell. And it's an unwillingness to look at the truth of what's actually happening. The only way I see to correct this is for us to help break the spell, because we can't make the addict choose to experience something that they don't know exists, right? So we have to be that, and we have to speak that, not just to the spiritual people, but in every aspect of our life, to stand with that, to own it, to claim it, and to be it, even though, you know, we might be thought of as crazy or and all that stuff again. But what the beings have shown me is that the way forward in these kinds of groups, in these kinds of communities, is it in actuality, if everyone were participating, doing their own work, and then coming and sharing and interacting, so you're learning, you're remembering how to poof, go into that resonance on an individual level. And then when you come into community, poof, this is what happens. So that changes the equation in this in-between worlds place, to where more people can see it and observe it, and it's real to them, rather than stuck up in a mental, there's a mental file for it, you know, of spirituality or bliss or transcendence or even ascension. These are all concepts to most people. It is a sustenance. It is food. It is water. It's what's been missing, and it is saying out loud. See, what I'm working on doing myself is fully being who I am and doing this in front of all of you. And noticing, because I've been dialoguing for so long, my body will go, you're getting a little persona here. Oh, thank you. Okay. Coming back to myself. You know what I mean? So the more people that can step into this, and when I talk about demonstrating all the time and how I've translated it through the messages from this intelligence that is guiding us now, and it's guiding through others too. I understand this. All I can do is nurture this connection within myself and share it, so I might inspire others to find that connection within themselves. I can't do anything about those who are addicted to an old way of life or have no interest in healing, who feel like they're totally fine. I'm great. I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm good. This growth and this expansion and this connection, clearly it's all there. And then you find yourself drifting back into, well, I don't know what else we could do. It seems like it's over. Yeah, it's over. So it's time, it is over. And it's time to flip into that new ground. That's what the shift is. And so the way I see it is, you're standing on that new ground and you're going, oh, but how, we're so used to the mind. I do this on a daily basis too. The thoughts come in and it's like, well, but how's that going to work? It's all a frickin' paradox now. That's why these communities are important. So, and that's why these conversations are so important. Thank you. How should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say that it's such an honor to be here with you all and to be able to speak truth and know that it's being heard and understood. And
Yes.
It's such a joy. And I just want to thank you all for being here.
Thank you all so much for everything that you've contributed.